Hi everybody, welcome to the live. My name is Topanga Jameson. If you could hit the subscribe button, give this live a thumbs up, we'll get started. Today has been a very eventful day. It has been my day off. I'm sorry I started the live later, but better later than never, you know. I had to shower, eat dinner, and tomorrow I go to work. So, here we go. But I do want to welcome everybody to the live, and I know y'all will come in. So I'm just going to get started. So it has been a very, very, very busy day, as I said. I did laundry and I did everything of that nature. Let me turn on the light. I'm sorry I started this later, and I'm sorry my voice sounds hoarse, but if y'all will just bear with me, that's great. Okay, now we have light. That's good. So, so for the last couple of weeks, my allergies have been acting up, and we've just been getting extreme weather. And tomorrow I have to go back to work. So, I thought I would sit down and do the live today and just do that for y'all. Hi. Hi. Oh, thank you. Hello. Hi. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's having a great day. Oh, thank you. God bless y'all. I have a video coming out for y'all today, so I hope you like it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Give the video or the live a thumbs up. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is having a blessed and wonderful Wednesday. And I hope everybody is doing good. Y'all are all in my thoughts and prayers. I hope you have a good one. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had to take a showers will do wonders. Yeah, so tonight I'm just sitting in here talking with all y'all. If y'all have questions, y'all can ask any questions. We're going to do a Q&A again. So if you have any burning questions, we'll answer them. Usually I have my mediators, Sally and Gary, but tonight it's just me. I do believe. Well, thank you. Thank you for noticing. And anybody who's from Canada, my hearts go out to you. I know y'all are going through some difficult stuff. I have a couple friends that live in Canada. So anybody from Ireland, welcome to the channel. I've always wanted to visit that country. Hey guys, tell me in below where y'all from and what, if y'all have ever wanted to visit another country than the country you live in. I'm in the United States, so from London. Peace, my friend. I've always wanted to go to London. My aunt actually went for her honeymoon and she really loved it. I was the flower girl in her wedding. It was back in 2002 or 2003. And I was the flower girl. And yeah. How's the weather in London? Oh, I will. I'll put that on the bucket list. Hi. What made me start YouTube? Oh, wow. And I'm sorry for my hoarse voice, guys. Like I said, allergies and asthma kick my tush every day. So I'm because we've gotten so much rain where I'm at, and we don't usually get that much rain and storms and everything like that. It's really kicked my butt. But yes, what made me start YouTube is I had seen I'm weird. I'll just tell you that right now. And it was during the pandemic, and I was about to start my new job. I had never worked. I had gone to college, and this was my first actual job. I had been a nanny, but that was people that my family knew that I worked for. And so I was one day at home in quarantine, like most of us in 2020, and I started watching. Oh, thank you. I started watching this YouTuber called Sage Lillyman, and I'm so sorry. I was trying to pronounce her name and I hiccuped. And I was watching Sage Lillyman's video, and she had done a 1950s housewife week video. And it was either the end of 2020 or beginning of 2021. And somewhere in there, she did this video, and I just fell in love with the 1950s aesthetic. And I had always liked, vintage stuff. Oh, thank you. And I will forget the weird comments. Yeah, I do 1950s videos sometimes. When I started my YouTube channel, it was called 1950s Housewife. And people did not like the channel name, and a lot of people complained. So I went back to the drawing board and I was like, okay. And they're like, well, you're not even married. Why would you? And I understood that. I think marriage is sacred, and I think it's between a man and a woman, and it's between God and them, And I'm a full believer of that. And I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, and I came to the realization I think I need to Yes, I do 50s videos. I've done a 2000s video makeup video before. I've done my favorite movie is Safe Haven because I read the book by Nicholas Sparks, and I did a makeup routine because I had watched the movie 1,000 times at this point. And I had done a makeup routine on that, and I was like, oh, I like that. And I cut my hair in the style that she had done in the movie. Julianne Hough, that was one of my favorite movies of her. Hi. And so I did that thing, and I was like, okay. So during the pandemic, I wasn't allowed to be a nanny, but I was like, and I was about to start my new job. Hi. Um, everybody that's joining. So I was like, okay, if Sage Lilyman, and I'm not trying to be the next Sage Lilyman, I think we each have our individual way we do the vintage content. And I started like buying vintage dresses because when I started my job, I was getting paid every week and I was paying bills. And I noticed on YouTube that they had 1950s dresses, and I went to this boutique, and it was in London, and I don't remember what the boutique was. It was like Bella something. And I fell in love with the dresses there. I went to a retro stage, and I went to Jolly Vintage, and I started looking at the dresses. And so I bought the pink curlers, and at that time I had long hair and it was down to here. And um me too. I would go to London. Um I've never been to London, but I have been in Europe, but I have never gone to London. I was adopted, so my family is from overseas. But I haven't been in London, but I've been in like other places in Europe, but I'll have to put that on the bucket list. I don't remember the town because I was like 2 years old, and so I don't remember when I was adopted when I was 2 by my sister. So yeah, I don't remember what part of Europe it was, but I know it was fun. I'll have to ask my well, my sister passed away, but I'll have to ask my other sister because she was with us, so I may have her come on the channel sometime and talk to y'all. Hi. Hi, John. But yeah, I was adopted, so adoption has a very big, beautiful place in my heart, and I've always wanted to be a mom. And if I can't biologically, yeah, I'm in the States now. And I'm in the States because of my job. Oh, okay. Okay, how do you like Florida? Did you say Florida or? Okay, I am so sorry. My screen is cutting off when you are doing comments. I'm so sorry. It's my internet. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, y'all do get a lot of hurricanes. I work for Harley Davidson, which people who are from London and other states may not know what Harley Davidson is. If you do, that's okay. I do the loans and I do mid stage, early stage loans for Harley Davidson, and they allow me to work from home. And I also do have, I've always wanted to go to New York. Yeah. Yes, Harley Davidson is a motorcycle company. We have, I've helped a writer from Dublin. So we have people in different countries, and sometimes they'll come to the United States, or there may be a dealership in their country and they'll purchase the bike, or they'll have two residents where sometimes they live in Ireland or sometimes they live in Guadalajara. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that, but I've worked a lot of accounts and I work with them. Oh, that's cool. Did you like it? Oh, I have a motorcycle joke. I want to hear it. I've always wanted to go. Lucky dog. You'll have to tell me some stories sometime. Why do all motorcycles fall over? I don't know. Cool. Because we have two tires. I'll have to tell my boss that one. I like it. Sometimes I get cussed out. Sometimes it depends if it's a full moon. Yeah, so when I was younger, I gotta tell you a funny story, and I know I ramble, I have ADD, just bear with me, man. What's my favorite hobby? I love to sing, and in high school, even though I was homeschooled, I did a co op and I was in drama and dance. And I played, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the movie A Walk to Remember. There is also a book by Nicholas Sparks. And, um, okay, thank you. There's a book by Nicholas Sparks, and Nicholas Sparks did a Walk to Remember, and it was one of my favorite books. And my um, my theater teacher was like, "Hey, what play do you want to do?" And we did Romeo and Juliet, and I was Juliet. And then we did A Walk to Remember, and I played Jamie Sullivan. So I had to sing, and I wore this blue dress, and I have a video of it, and when I can find it, if I don't get copyright infringement from YouTube, I will try to put it on YouTube. But, so I love to act, dance, sing. It's been a couple of years since I've sang because I've been really, really busy. When I was little, I wanted to be an actress, and I always wanted to do that. But when I got into college, and then I'll go into the story about my sister. When I was in college, I decided to do pre-med. My sister always wanted me to go to college, and she made me promise her that I would continue my education beyond high school. Well, I took a couple gap years, like 3 or 5, somewhere in there, just to clear my head because her passing was really hard on me. And I had to clear my head, so I worked as a nanny for 11 years, and then I did multiple families who had children with autism. I have 2 nephews with autism, and Asperger's autism is very dear to my heart because of them. So yeah. Oh, it's okay. I know she's in a better place, and she would be very proud of me. Hello. How are you? But, so when I was a little girl, like I said at the beginning of the live, my sister had gotten custody of me. And she had custody off and on because my mom left me home alone when I was 2 years old. Not the mom that adopted me. Oh, thank you. And so one day she decides to go, and it was before she had gotten married to my brother-in-law. I'm not going to say their names because I like to keep my family private. So I'm going to call her my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in this live because I just don't give out people's names unless I have permission. I have permission to tell the story. I just don't think they would like it if I told their names. So, I was about 2 years old, and my sister had put me in the stroller, and we had gone to this, thank you. So, my other sister was with us. I have sisters, they are older than me. When my sister passed away, she was 45, and I was 19, so there's a bit of an age difference between 3 of my sisters. So, and I'm about to be 37, October 31st. So, so she puts me in the stroller, we get out of the car, she puts me in, and we're at the store, and I was a curious 2-year-old. I have been diagnosed with scoliosis. I've had scoliosis my whole life. I can walk. Sometimes it's better when I'm not feeling well or just around the house for safety issues to be in the wheelchair. I need to get up and move more. That's what I'm working towards. So, oh, thank you. Oh, you don't even look over 28. Whoa. Thank you. You're my new best friend. So, she has me in the stroller, and we're in the store, and my other sister, I'm like getting bored, and she's trying to entertain me. She's trying to give me books. She's trying to give me fruit snacks. And I end up, while they're not looking, because my sister was recently engaged and I was going to be the flower girl. So my sister goes in and she's looking at this china pattern. She's looking at bed linens because they're moving into a new house. And I end up getting out of my wheelchair, or out of my stroller. I unhook it and I walk away. Well, my sister's not paying attention, and you gotta understand, I was born at the end of 89, so 1989 was my birthday. So in the 90s, they didn't have the cell phones, like we do today. They had either car phones or no cell phones at all, and it was very expensive. I don't even think my sister had a cell phone. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. She may have. I was just 2, and so she's like looking, and she goes, okay, it's too quiet. Topanga too quiet. So she and my other sister go in, and they look, and she's like, she's not in the stroller, and they're freaking out. We're in a busy, like, I don't know if it was Macy's or something equivalent, but it did have an upstairs where the toys were. And your girl Topanga was probably going to the books and the toys because that was my place. I loved puzzles, I loved books and stuffed animals. So, me and so they start like panicking, and my sister goes to the payphone and she calls the authorities, and they're looking for me, and everybody's looking. My brother-in-law ends up coming where they're at, and he ends up looking, and everybody's calling my name, and I'm not listening because I'm in the books and toys, okay? Because your girl is crazy. So I'm sitting there, and this lady who was pregnant, she worked at the store. She comes in, and she goes, sweetie, are you lost? And I said, no, I'm just playing with the toys. And so she kind of heard somebody calling my name because they had ended up going upstairs. And my sister's running, and she's screaming, and I'm like in a place where I couldn't hear her at first. And then she's like, 67. And so they go and they run in, and they find me, and the lady goes, are you looking for a little girl? She's blonde headed, and that's my natural hair color. I'm not a natural brunette. And my sisters go, yes. And so the whole time, oh, she was a wreck. By the time she got to me, her mascara was speared. There was a run in her pantyhose. We were having a good day. So the rest of the day, she put me in the carrier and kept me close to her. And she was like, you're going to be a runner, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, she was. She was worried. 7. Yeah, she was like, you're going to be a runner, aren't you? And, she knew I had scoliosis because early on they had told my sisters and my family that I would have scoliosis. And that is what happened. And so yeah, that's not the first time she made my, okay. I'm gonna tell this story, and this is a two feature. So I know it sounds like I'm stuttering, but I had surgery on my mouth. So disregard everything that I know it sounds like I have a mouth full of marbles. I don't usually talk like this, but we are going to talk. So, as I got older, I ended up starting dating, and my sister and my brother had this very strict rule that I wasn't allowed to date till I was 18. But you know, your girl Topanga was boy crazy back then, and I was very immature, but I was growing and I was learning, and that is the way to do it. Excuse me. So, I'm sorry I'm itching my nose, but it is itching like crazy. So, so then I turn around, and so I don't tell my brother-in-law because my brother-in-law is like 6'4". He's a scrawny dude, but he like very physically fit. Okay, he very physically fit. So, I only tell my sister I am going on a date. I don't tell the sister that had custody of me, I tell my other sister. And she helps me get ready at her apartment. But what I had told my sister was that the other sister knew and was okay with it. At this time, I was 17 and a half. No, I was about to turn 17. I was 16. So I go on the date. James has his car. James is my ex. That's a whole another story in itself that we will do at another time. So I get and I go on the date, and my curfew was 11. Okay, it was 11. That day, because it was summer, she let me stay to 11, and we were gonna go to IHOP. Well, I am the younger sister, and I had borrowed one of her shirts. And I am a messy eater. I was very nervous, and I was talking 90 to nothing because I have ADD, and he thought it was cute. And so James was like, okay, that is weird, but you know, each his own. So my brother finds out because I'm not answering my phone. So my brother-in-law calls my sister, and she's like, oh, she's on the date. And he's like, what date? What date is she on? And my sister goes, that's very funny. And she goes, well, I thought you knew. And my nephews are like, yeah, she went on a date, and hey, JT. And they were like, and my other sister, I'm going to call her Jay. Jay was like, yeah, didn't she tell you she had a date? So they all decide to wait at my other sister, Jay's house. And we come up, but we were a little late, and I called Jay, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to have we're having car trouble. He had to go get his car looked at, and we'll be back, soon. And she's like, okay, dear, whatever. And and so I actually hear my nephews in the background. M and D. I'm gonna call them M and D because their names are, the oldest one starts with an M and the other one starts with a D. So M and D are playing, and I'm like, oh, you're babysitting. And she's like, yeah, we'll just go with that. So we get to my sister's house finally, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I see my other sister's car, and I am a white girl, but the whiteness drained out of me, and it was a good shade of green. I had nothing on Shrek. Shrek had nothing on me that day. And so I'm waiting, and I go inside, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm back." Da 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 da. And she goes, "Oh, do you have something to tell us?" And as soon as James walks in, my brother-in-law goes, "What's your name? What do you do? How old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 3 years older than her." And so at this time, I was 16. He was, no, he was 17 and I was 16. No. Yeah. I was 16 about to turn 17, and he was 17 about to turn 18. So I go in, and they're like, and my biological mom is waiting, and she's like, I said, "Well, you gave me permission," and she's like, "I'm not your legal guardian, dude. I love you, but you should have asked them." And my brother-in-law's just knowing him and like, "I will hunt you down. I have special skills. I will come after you." And I'm like, oh my God. James peed his pants that day. Luckily, he kept a change of clothes in his for church and things like that. So he changed, but he had to shower at my sister's house. We were together for almost, the first time it was 7 years, and then we got back together, and it was a total of 6. And he ended up being very physically abusive. But yeah, that was my, and yes. Yes, he literally peed his pants because my brother-in-law gave him a "I will kill you" look. And my sister was like, for something so tiny, she was mighty. And my nephews are like, "You are supposed to be home, young lady, at a decent hour." And I'm like, "I'm not late for curfew because I called and it was an emergency." And so 2 weeks later, my sister makes him come over for dinner, okay? And I know, James, to this day, we are no longer together, and before he had passed away of suicide in 2022, to that day, he would always talk about the first time he met my sister. And so 2 weeks after that little incident, I'm surprised he even wanted to come back because it was scary. So it's okay. He's in a better place. Even though it didn't work out for us, God has a plan for everything. And I'm thankful I got to be in his orbit as long as I did. We were engaged 3 times. And, you know, God has a plan for everything not working out. God has a season for everything. So I'm thankful for it. Even though we had our rough patches and we both made our mistakes, we were young, we wished each other the very best. And when he was alive, we wished each other the very best. But yes, so 2 weeks after that, my sister invites him over for dinner, and my brother-in-law had to work, so he worked out of town a lot, and he was going to be gone for 9 months or 6 to 9 months at that point. So he was going to be gone. And so my sister's there, my other sister's there, my aunt Lynn is there, and everybody is sitting at this restaurant we were gonna have it at her house, but my sister's not that great of a cook, and we didn't want James to have a bad experience, so we agreed that we would all go to a restaurant. And my nephews were playing some kind of sports, so they were not there. And so my sister is sitting there. She's looking at him. Blonde bombshell that she was. Looks at him and goes, and we had started dating, and we were dating, and 6 months from that we would be engaged. And my sister did not agree with that. She felt like I had to grow up a little bit and things like that. But so one day we're at this dinner, and he's like, and my sister goes, her curfew is 10:30 on school days. And she's eating, and we're like, and she's not taking her eyes off of him. And she's looking at him, and he goes, and he whispers in my ear, if she looks at me anymore, she's gonna burn a hole through me. She's looking into my soul. And I'm like, and so my mom is sitting there, and she's like asking him a bunch of questions, and my sister's like, okay. So I sit there, and so my brother-in-law calls, and he goes, oh, it's you again. I thought we got rid of you. And he's like, I will. And so my brother-in-law calls on FaceTime, and he's like, I will hunt you down. I have a special set of skills, and I will come after you if anything happens to her. And when I do, nothing can save you. And so we're sitting there, and we're like, and so my aunt asked, have y'all had, intimate relations? And we're like, we want to save that for marriage. That's our decision. And we just kind of left it up there. But the whole time he's eating, he's like, and the waiter at Olive Garden, because we were at Olive Garden, and I don't remember I don't remember what state we were in, where they were living at that time, but we were at Olive Garden, and the waiter at Olive Garden is like, man, is it your first date? And he's like, no, we've been dating for a while. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, you can cut the tension with a knife. And everybody starts busting out at the table, and we're all just like. So fast forward 6 months later, I graduate high school in 2007. I graduate early. I graduate a couple months early. And I have to go tell my sister that I'm engaged. Oh yeah, it's okay. Oh, thank you. I hope you join the live again sometime. It was really fun. So, the day I told my sister I was engaged, my sister was not happy about it. She was not happy because she wanted me to continue to live with her. And at that point in time, I was living in Texas because James was military, and we were already living, I was living with his sister. We were not living together. I want to clarify that. But, and I was going to move on base when we got married. So, I go and tell my sister, and she's like, are you pregnant? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I'm a virgin. I have my V card. And she's like, oh, okay, good to know, good to know. And so she sees my engagement ring and she's like, take it off. We're in public. And I'm like, I'm not taking it off. Yeah, but it was, my nephews were there and they were like, and we started arguing and my nephew's like, not in front of the children. And I was like, sorry. But yeah. But I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Thank you to everybody who has been so awesome. It was an honor and privilege to get to know each and every one of you. And I hope... It was too tired. I love that. I'm going to use that motorcycle joke soon. But I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We will be doing another live Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So it is 8:22 right now. But I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching.